Last 6 months, I've been working on my own NFT project that I believe is going to change the
Pokemon is blowing up. I have no doubt in my mind this card will be worth $1 million between 2 and 3 years.
Logan Paul's wild journey on YouTube has been packed with chaos and controversy for years, but nothing stuck to his name quite like the CryptoZoo disaster. Out of all the storms he's faced, this one hit hard and left a serious mark on his online image. People dragged his name through every corner of the internet, and the backlash was brutal. After years of finger-pointing, viral call-outs, and legal threats flying everywhere, the court has finally made a move, ruling that Logan didn't actually do anything wrong. Or at least, that's what it looks like on paper. But the truth? It's way more complicated than it seems. If this decision holds up, it could turn into a serious nightmare that no one saw coming. And the one who might be sweating the most right now? CoffeeZilla. He's already locked in a heated defamation lawsuit after Logan came after him for calling him a scammer. That's not some small internet beef, that's career-on-the-line pressure. Today, we're diving deep into the newest twist in the Logan Paul CryptoZoo saga, breaking down why the court dropped Logan from the class action lawsuit, what that really means for his legal showdown with CoffeeZilla, and why this win might not be the victory everyone thinks it is. Logan wants everyone to believe he's in the clear, but that's just how it looks on paper. Behind the scenes, things are way more tangled than he lets on. Let's rewind and break it down fast so you're fully caught up. This whole mess kicked off back on August 18th, 2021, when Logan dropped his biggest announcement yet. After months of hyping NFTs like crazy across all his socials, he finally unveiled his own crypto project, CryptoZoo. The promo was loud, flashy, and packed with promises. The energy, off the charts. Fans were hyped, investors were ready, and expectations were through the roof from day one. Really fun game that makes you money. A fun game that earns you money, he said. But when people started asking, how much did you guys make from CryptoZoo? The awkward silence said it all. Shut up. No, you haven't. The lawsuit hit hard. So hard that CoffeeZilla actually backed off and stopped talking about CryptoZoo for a while. That silence shifted the whole vibe online. But just because the noise died down didn't mean Logan's reputation magically recovered. If anything, it made even more people suspicious about what was really happening behind closed doors. When a big YouTuber takes an investigative journalist to court, the internet never stays quiet. Critics were buzzing everywhere. Many felt like instead of facing the community head-on and explaining the situation, Logan went the lawyer route, stacking up a powerhouse legal team according to reports. And that move didn't go unnoticed. Fans started asking some serious questions, like why he was spending all that energy fighting lawsuits instead of helping the people who said they lost real money in CryptoZoo. The frustration online exploded fast, with people demanding answers and refunds. But here's the catch. Lawsuits like this don't move quickly. They drag through endless steps, pleadings, discovery, motions, trials, and even appeals. So while the drama's still unfolding, the internet keeps watching and waiting for what happens next. These kinds of lawsuits can drag on for what feels like forever. Months or even years go by with no major updates. Everything happening quietly behind closed doors. And that's exactly where both of Logan's cases were stuck for a while. Just crawling forward, one legal step at a time. But this time around, the internet wasn't clueless. Everyone already had strong opinions locked and loaded. Plenty of people believed Logan was going to have a tough time in court since he hyped up a crypto project that many buyers later called an alleged scam. If the court had ever confirmed any wrongdoing tied to CryptoZoo, then CoffeeZilla's harsh words could have been seen as fair game, protected commentary instead of defamation. That possibility had everyone glued to their screens, waiting for the next big update. And then, boom, out of nowhere, the story flipped upside down. On October 29, 2025, headlines exploded with shocking news. The CryptoZoo lawsuit against Logan Paul had been thrown out by a federal judge. Just like that, gone. The massive case that had been hanging over Logan's head for years was suddenly wiped away, leaving the internet completely stunned and desperate to know what happened next. Then, boom, it all hit a wall. The official court documents dropped, and they were wild. The filing stated that defendant Logan Paul's motion to dismiss is hereby granted, and that all 27 of the plaintiff's claims were dismissed, counts 1 through 26 gone. The paperwork also mentioned that the plaintiffs were granted leave to amend as to count 27. But even that last claim was dismissed with prejudice. In plain English, that means almost the entire case was wiped clean, and one part was permanently shut down for good. That's a serious win on paper for Logan, but the internet wasn't ready to let it slide that easily. CoffeeZilla fired back hard, saying, "Logan Paul is suing me for CryptoZoo only a year after he thanked me for it. Rather than pay back..."
I'm sorry, guys. I apologize for how this has unfolded thus far, and I want people to know that they can trust me and that I'll always take care of the fans and people who support me.
Sell fractions of rare collectibles via tokens on the blockchain. As a co-founder of Liquid Marketplace, I believe we're set to level the playing field by allowing anyone to own a piece of the world's rarest collectibles and
his victims fully, Logan would rather publicly humiliate himself in court by accusing me of defaming him. He's hired 5 lawyers to sue me, which he hopes will stop me from exposing him again. That statement lit up social media. People were torn. Was Logan finally cleared? Or was this just another power move to shut down critics? Logan's attorney, Jeff Nyman, told TMZ that the district judge didn't just agree with Logan, he doubled down. The judge said no reasonable juror could find Logan's statements misleading or fraudulent. That's a major statement in courtroom talk, and it instantly flipped the whole vibe around the case. Suddenly, the win looked way more official, and the timing couldn't have been crazier. The dismissal was confirmed on the exact same day as Logan's wedding. While one of the biggest legal battles in his career was ending, he was also walking down the aisle and celebrating one of the happiest days of his life. Talk about a wild double headline moment. But the internet? Oh, it didn't stay calm for a second. The news exploded across social media and people were heated. One viral tweet shot straight to the top of everyone's feed saying, "In America, crime is legal." It was dripping with sarcasm, and it blew up fast, racking up over 230,000 likes. That single post summed up exactly how fired up people were feeling about the dismissal and how divided the internet still is over Logan Paul's name. The backlash didn't stop there. Tons of people online were fuming. One well-known crypto commentator, Zach XBT, summed it up perfectly in a fiery post. "Sad how antiquated laws allow bad actors to continually abuse inefficiencies within crypto from different jurisdictions. If you promote a project tied to the value of tokens and little to nothing is delivered, thus leading to serious financial harm, you should be held accountable." He didn't hold back, and the internet agreed. That statement spread fast, and thousands of users backed him up. Many felt like Logan's dismissal didn't feel like justice. It felt unfinished. To a lot of observers, the court's ruling looked more like a loophole than closure. Some even argued it could make it harder for people who lost money in the alleged CryptoZoo mess to ever get real accountability. But here's where things take a wild turn. The person now facing the real pressure isn't even Logan. It's CoffeeZilla, the same creator who first blew the lid off the entire CryptoZoo situation. Now that Logan's dismissal is officially on record, CoffeeZilla's defamation case just got a whole lot messier. This is where it gets serious. Logan's main argument in his lawsuit is that CoffeeZilla ruined his reputation by calling him a scammer. And with the court now saying Logan didn't do anything wrong, that claim just gained major weight. Suddenly, the tables are turning, and the one who started exposing the scandal might end up in the legal hot seat himself. According to Logan, that scammer label just isn't true. And that's the heart of his entire case. He insists his name was dragged through the mud unfairly, and he's fighting to clear it. For a while, CoffeeZilla's biggest defense was actually pretty solid. He pointed straight at the CryptoZoo lawsuit itself. His argument was simple. If Logan promoted a project that allegedly caused financial harm to fans, then calling him a scammer could count as fair opinion or protected commentary. That lawsuit was CoffeeZilla's biggest shield. But things got way more chaotic when private messages between Logan and a close friend surfaced during the discovery phase. And let's just say, they did not make Logan look good. Those leaked messages hinted that his lawsuit against CoffeeZilla might not have been purely about protecting his reputation. It might have been about sending a warning. In those alleged texts, Logan supposedly wrote things like, "Ready to let others know it's not worth coming at you. There's a price to pay." That's the idea. I see momentum building because the throne is being shook right now. Need to shut it down. Public humiliation is always more effective. That hit hard online. It made people question whether this was about justice or about power. Suddenly, Logan's clean-cut defense didn't look so simple anymore, and CoffeeZilla's side of the story got a whole new layer of chaos. That kind of talk made heads turn fast. In other alleged messages, Logan reportedly said things like, "Just to make his life difficult. Zilla will pay one way or another. I'll make sure of it. I want people who wrong me to suffer, and while I continue getting wins on their grave." He even called himself a petty billionaire. And that line alone sent the internet into a frenzy. Critics jumped on it immediately, saying it sounded like Logan was admitting the lawsuit was driven by revenge, not justice. That theory exploded online and added another wild twist to an already chaotic case. Those leaked texts looked like serious ammo that could have helped CoffeeZilla fight back in court, and who knows, they still might. But right now, the balance of power seems to be shifting. With Logan officially removed from the CryptoZoo lawsuit, his side suddenly looks a lot stronger. His legal team can now point directly at that federal dismissal and say, "See, the court already ruled he didn't commit fraud." From their angle, that changes everything. It makes CoffeeZilla's scammer label look reckless, maybe even defamatory. What once looked like a risky lawsuit is now shaping up to be a calculated comeback, and the internet is watching every move to see who ends up winning this high-stakes showdown. If the court sides with Logan, things could get real rough for CoffeeZilla. First off, there's the money. The exact number Logan's asking for hasn't been revealed yet. But in high-profile defamation cases like this, damages can skyrocket into the millions. And here's the catch. Unlike Logan, CoffeeZilla isn't sitting on influencer-level cash or sponsorship deals. A hit that big wouldn't just hurt his wallet. It could shake his entire platform to the core. But the money isn't even the scariest part. It's the reputation risk. The internet is brutal when someone loses a public court battle. Just look at what happened when Carl Jobs lost his defamation case against Billy Mitchell. The whole thing turned into a circus online. Memes, jokes, nonstop commentary. His name was everywhere for all the wrong reasons. To be fair, some critics said Carl might have twisted parts of his case, and that fueled the backlash. But CoffeeZilla, he's been careful with his reporting, always checking his facts and staying within reason. There's no clear sign he ever misled his audience. Still, none of that guarantees safety, because when the internet senses a loss, even a technical one, the court of public opinion can flip overnight. One ruling, one verdict, and suddenly the truth doesn't matter. Only the headline does. That's how fast the internet flips the script. One headline, and suddenly the story changes overnight. So now everyone's asking the same question. What's next between CoffeeZilla and Logan Paul? The answer's still unfolding, but we can take a few smart guesses based on how things have gone so far. And the biggest factor still in play? The CryptoZoo case. Even though Logan's been officially dismissed from it, the fallout is far from over. Here's the part most headlines completely skipped. On the surface, everything about Logan's dismissal sounds like a total victory. And when the news first dropped, that's exactly how it looked online. Viral posts were blowing up with captions like, "Logan Paul's CryptoZoo lawsuit has been thrown out by a federal judge." TMZ jumped in with quotes from Logan's lawyer, and even Logan himself joined the celebration, posting a flashy video that made it seem like the entire case was dead and buried for good. If you were just scrolling through your feed, you probably think he walked away squeaky clean. But here's the twist. What everyone thought was a clean sweep isn't the full story at all. Beneath all that celebration and PR buzz, there's way more going on behind the scenes, and not all of it works in Logan's favor. What actually went down was way more technical and a lot less clear-cut than it looked. Out of the 27 claims filed against Logan, 26 were dismissed without prejudice, and only one was dismissed with prejudice. That tiny legal detail changes everything. Here's why it matters. When something's dismissed with prejudice, it's done for good. The plaintiff can't bring that claim back ever again. Case closed, game over. But when a claim is dismissed without prejudice, it's a whole different story. That door stays wide open. The plaintiffs can rewrite their arguments, fix their filings, and come back swinging with a stronger case later. So even though Logan's team celebrated, 26 of those claims could still return in some form. That's not exactly the slam dunk victory it first appeared to be. And here's another huge detail everyone missed. When a judge grants a motion to dismiss, it doesn't automatically mean the defendant was proven right or honest. It's not some official innocent stamp. A dismissal just means the judge decided the legal arguments weren't strong or clear enough at this stage to move forward. It's all about procedure, not proof. No final verdict, no declaration of truth. Just a temporary pause in a much bigger legal game that's still very much alive. So let's get one thing straight. This dismissal does not confirm Logan's innocence. It only means the case, as it was originally written, didn't hit the legal threshold needed to move forward. That's a massive difference from being fully cleared, and that's where things start heating up even more. Just because the claims got dismissed doesn't mean the accusations vanished into thin air. Every single thing Logan was accused of could still come roaring back into court. And guess what? That's exactly what's happening. While this story was still unfolding, the plaintiffs came back swinging, fast. They filed an amended complaint against Logan, and this time, they didn't hold anything back. Reports say the new filing directly tackles almost every issue the judge raised in the original dismissal. And they made it twice as long as before. That's not coincidence, that's strategy. This updated complaint is packed with fresh material, new claims, and extra evidence designed to punch holes in Logan's defense and rebuild their entire case stronger than ever. So while Logan might have been celebrating a short-term win, the other side clearly isn't done fighting. And round two looks like it's about to get way more intense. One of Logan's biggest talking points from the very start has been that he wasn't the one responsible, that the blame should fall on his CryptoZoo partners instead. He's repeated the same defense again and again, even claiming he didn't make a single cent from the project. That line became a cornerstone of his public image, something he leaned on every time the controversy came up. He even doubled down on it in his recent video celebrating what many believed was a total courtroom victory. But now, with this expanded complaint officially on the table, that claim is under a microscope, and the findings aren't looking good. According to the amended court filing, Logan's "I didn't make a cent" defense might not hold water at all. The updated complaint straight up alleges that Logan actually made over $1.3 million from the egg NFT sales within just the first month of CryptoZoo going live. If that number turns out to be true, it completely blows apart his public story. That's a huge gap between what Logan's been telling fans and what the plaintiffs are saying in court, and it's already making people question everything. And the wild part? That $1.3 million claim isn't even the only shocking detail hidden in this new filing. The new complaint takes things even further. It brings up voice calls between Logan and investors where he allegedly hyped up the game, claiming it was so fun that even the developers' kids were hooked on it. That kind of statement paints a totally different picture of how CryptoZoo was being pitched to people. It wasn't just another crypto drop. It was being sold like a fully working, addictive game. But according to the amended filing, the reality behind the scenes was a whole different story, and not in a good way. The complaint claims that at the exact time those bold promises were being made, the game didn't even exist in a playable form. If that's true, it raises serious questions about what investors were being told versus what was actually happening in development. The complaint doesn't stop there. It also targets one of Logan's other big claims, that he hired a dozen artists to design unique animal hybrids for CryptoZoo. But the filing alleges something much less impressive. Instead of crafting detailed custom designs, the team supposedly used stock images of animals and mashed them together using basic editing software. If that turns out to be true, it totally undercuts the entire image of CryptoZoo as a polished, high-effort project. And it gets worse. The amended complaint says Logan kept promoting CryptoZoo even after the game's internal progress had already stalled. That part hit hard online. It suggests that while fans believed the game was thriving, the whole thing might have been falling apart behind the curtain. The amended complaint goes even deeper. It claims Logan refused to approve the completion of the full CryptoZoo game, reportedly saying it was too expensive. According to the filing, by that point, the money had already been made, and the focus shifted from finishing development to simply keeping up appearances. Throughout 2022, Logan continued making confident public statements, telling fans that artists were working non-stop and that he wasn't giving up. But the complaint paints a very different story. It alleges that while Logan was reassuring everyone the project was still alive, development had already come to a halt behind the scenes. The plaintiffs claim these examples are just a small slice of the larger explosive allegations in the newly updated case. And if any of these claims hold weight, Logan's road ahead just got a whole lot tougher. A stronger, more detailed filing means his legal team has to build a much more complicated defense, one that can't just rely on surface-level denials anymore. But at the same time, this shift might actually throw a lifeline to CoffeeZilla, whose position was looking shaky after Logan's initial dismissal. Because in defamation cases, one thing always stands tall: truth is a powerful defense. And if these new allegations check out, that truth could flip the entire legal narrative upside down. If a court ends up ruling that CryptoZoo involved any kind of deceptive conduct, that would completely crush Logan's claim that calling him a scammer was false. And even if he manages to dodge that legal hit, there's still one thing he can't escape: public perception. Let's say, hypothetically, Logan wins both cases outright. That still doesn't mean the internet suddenly forgives or forgets. The first wave of reaction to his dismissal wasn't celebration, it was skepticism. Instead of congrats, people were posting question marks and memes. That alone proves how divided public opinion still is about him. Many critics argue Logan hasn't done enough to earn back his audience's trust. Back in January 2024, he publicly promised to refund part of the money lost by CryptoZoo buyers. But as of now, there's been no solid proof that those refunds were ever completed. To make things worse, the website he once promoted for refund claims reportedly went offline and now redirects somewhere else entirely. That confusion only fuels the doubts even more. So no matter how this plays out, the pressure isn't going anywhere. If Logan wins, people will say the system favors rich influencers who can afford massive legal teams. But if he loses, the backlash could follow him for years. Either way, his name's staying in the spotlight, and not necessarily in the way he wants. No matter how you look at it, this story isn't fading into the background anytime soon. The spotlight on Logan Paul is still blazing bright, and every twist just adds more fuel to the fire. Because at the end of the day, this whole saga is about more than just one lawsuit or one viral headline. It's about trust, influence, and what really happens when massive online fame crashes into real-world money. The courts are still sorting through the legal chaos, but the court of public opinion has been roaring since day one, and it's not slowing down. Logan might have scored a temporary legal win, but the amended complaint shows this fight is far from over. CoffeeZilla is still standing tall, investors are still watching closely, and the internet, yeah, it's keeping every single receipt. No matter how this plays out, CryptoZoo will always be a part of Logan's legacy, one that people will keep bringing up every time his name comes up in conversation. Whether this turns into redemption or another downfall, one thing's clear: the drama isn't done yet. So now, I want to hear from you. Do you think this dismissal changes the game, or is it just the quiet before round 2 kicks off? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this breakdown and want more deep dives into internet scandals, influencer drama, and the stories shaking up the web, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video with someone who's been following every twist in this wild ride. Let's keep the conversation going, because this story, it's far from over.